Affinity version 3.1 has just been released, and in this video, I'll show you the biggest changes that you should know about. Let's get started. To begin, let's take a look at the new Light mode. To do this, we need to open Affinity settings, which you can do by pressing Ctrl, on a PC or Command, on a Mac. Then we'll come to the User Interface section. From here, we can change the workspace to Light mode. And just like that, we have a beautiful light interface. But personally, I prefer dark mode, so I'm going to change it back to how it was. And while we have our settings open, let's take a look at another change in 3.1, which is the new home screen settings. And as a reminder, the home screen is this window, which appears when you open Affinity. But coming back to the settings, we can now choose which things we want to appear on the home screen. We can also click and drag to rearrange the order they appear in. Next, let's try out a brand new tool that's been added to Affinity, the Tone Brush. This tool can be found underneath the Adjustment brush. The Tone Brush is great for dodging and burning, which just means brightening or darkening parts of your photo. So as I paint, it will brighten those areas. And to darken, just hold down Command or Control while painting. And the great thing is that this tool works non-destructively, which means it makes a new layer that you can turn on and off whenever you want. But as a quick side note, this is just one of the many ways to dodge and burn in Affinity, so feel free to use whichever method you like best. Another new feature in 3.1 is the ability to turn a selection into a vector. To do this, just make a selection, and then come up to Vector, Convert to Curves. This turns the selection into a vector, which you can edit in the same way that you would edit any other vector in Affinity. The next update is the ability to add captions to images. With an image selected, just come up to Layer, Add Caption. From here, we have multiple options for customizing our captions, like using a paragraph style, or changing the alignment. Then you can enter whatever caption you want, or you can use these little pieces of code. The caption counter will count all of the captioned images in your document, and then display the current image's number. And alt text will display the alternative text you've given to the photo, which you can set in the tags panel. But if all that's a little confusing, you can just ignore the code and type whatever you want. Then to add the caption, just press OK. And if you ever want to edit the caption, just click on its layer thumbnail to reopen the caption dialog box. Up next, we have some improvements to the pen tool. Let's say you were drawing something with the pen tool, but at some point you wanted to go back and remove one of the nodes. Well, now in 3.1, you can click on any node to delete it. Or you can hold down Alt or Option and click on a smooth node to convert it to a sharp node. You can also press P to cancel your current path so that you can begin drawing a new one. And of course, you can still do the same thing with Escape, which has always been Affinity's shortcut for canceling a path. And in 3.1, it's now easier to continue working on a pen path. Just select the path, click on either node at the end of it, and then you can continue adding to it. The next changes are pretty minor, so I'll make them nice and quick. First, you can now right-click on a document tab to open a menu. This will give you a few different options, like choosing which information you want displayed in the tabs. Next is an update to all of Affinity's brushes. If you have a brush tool out, you can right-click anywhere in the document to bring up your brush settings. And to close this box, just press the Escape key. And last up, we can now edit gradient swatches after we've made them. Just right-click on the swatch and choose Edit Fill. But beyond all of the new features, there's another important change in version 3.1. In this update, over 200 bugs have been fixed. I know that doesn't seem super exciting, but I think bug fixes are just as important as new tools. And of course, version 3.2 will come later this year, with brand new features for us to enjoy. But to finish this video, I just want to remind everyone that Affinity 3 is a totally separate app from the version 2 programs. So if you don't already have version 3, you need to download it from the Affinity website, which I'll leave a link to in the video description. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy the new update, and I'll see you in the next Affinity Revolution tutorial.